Nothing in this recording is intended as investment advice, and the people in this recording may hold positions in the companies they talk about. Do not make any investment based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
Hello and welcome to the Oracle Power Q1 2024 Shareholder Q&A. I'm joined by Naheed Memon, who's CEO at Oracle Power. How are you today, Naheed?
Hi, Zach. I'm very well, thank you.
Right, question number one. How much cash do you have? How long will it last? And when do you expect to raise further funds? Getting straight into it.
We are a project developer, and we have, as we speak, different projects under development, which are on varying developmental timelines for potential success. So, we do need to ensure availability of funds for continuity. And when a development need arises, we need to bring in funds. However, we do maintain controls and we ensure needs are really managed most economically. So to say that funds will never be needed is obviously not true. But one can say that we try and ensure that this funding and whenever it arises is only when needed in relation to a developmental expenditure that we need to incur to ensure the development goes on.
Right, second question. Thar seems to be at the top of the agenda in Pakistan. Every media outlet there is continuously reporting on the prospects in that region. The lack of updates from Oracle itself on this matter, though, is concerning to some, leading them to think that we may not be involved in any of the developments there.
I can say that we are in continuous dialogue with investors and some local investors as well, the government, as well as the Chinese SOEs we have been partnering with, and Power China, to mention one, who has, they have been our partners in Thar for a very long time, and they continue to work with us. So we're in continuous dialogue. And in collaboration with the government, we are well aware of the various conversations going on in government offices as with respect to policy and support. And so with the view of all of that, we continue to sort of remain very engaged. As far as market update is concerned, as soon as there's something material to report, we will immediately update the market.
Right. I mean, there's an open question next. When will shareholder value be realized, and what is this value?
Well, I would want it to be realized tomorrow, but in the sort of nature of business that we are in project development, the potential value of any project should really translate to market value. And if the potential value, if you sort of look at the sort of simple capital costs and the investments and the potential outlay of the projects that we are involved in is very, very large. In some, Oracle's share is very small. For example, in the green hydrogen project, in the Northern Zone project, we would potentially become 20. And that's also a part of our strategy to divest at a good price when we have taken the project to a good stage. So having said that, just going by the actual potential value of all the projects that we are involved in, we're looking at many hundreds of millions, etc. I mean, these are large projects. Even if we have a small share of these projects, we still stand to sort of, own and sort of have a stake in these large projects. And if that would mean anything for market value, we should be very highly valued. And I think the only problem is that the market needs to recognize and be assured of the probability of success. And if that probability of success of these projects is high, and if the market believes it to be high, I think that the price would rally up and we would be able to really reflect the true value of our projects. So it is a matter of time, and we're working very, very hard for this probability of success across all our projects to increase. And that is really the essence of what we're doing and where we would like to sort of go. And in the shortest time possible.
Speaking of value, the share price has been bouncing around, increasing nearly 100% from its recent lows and then falling back 50%. You were quoted, or you have been quoted, that 10 pence is the true share price valuation. And you said that some years ago. However, the share price has declined over 90%, and furthermore, the shares in issue have been diluted nearly 350%. What is your view on this?
I mean, I think I sort of reflected on that a bit earlier in the previous question as to what the correlation between share price and the projects that we're involved in is, and it should be, and what brings about that delta, and that is the expectation or the probability of success. Having said that, the reference to the sort of the ups and downs, this volatility, is of course related partially to the market sentiment, I believe, and partially related to expectations which the market forms on news or expected development, and that's the company, on account of being involved in a few projects, which sort of develop on different timelines. There are different expectations, and the market forms these perceptions, and that's what brings this price up and down. And that's whereas it prevents a steady growth sometimes going upwards. It also reflects and it speaks to the level of interest that there is in the stock. So, I believe that is also a good thing, because that eventually will lead to the steady growth that we anticipate and we're working for.
Apart from exercises like this, what do you think the company can do more to provide the markets with confidence?
I mean, I think that we need to work better on our communication. We should really, that's something that we have in mind. But of course, we have regulatory, compliance related matters. We can't always sort of be reckless. We have to be very, very careful. We can't say things that we believe will happen. We have to be very, very sure. We have to be careful. So, the communication is something that we need to be wary of. But of course, if we have a better strategy and we are able to convince the market of all the development work that is going on, I think that there would be a greater belief in what is happening, and how fast we are progressing on our various projects.
Is Oracle rather in a position to be cash generative this year? If so, which project will be over the line first, and what would the timeline there be?
So this whole idea of being cash generative, etc. I mean, we're not in a operational business which is going to start generating revenue. So for us, I mean, I would look at this in terms of being able to extract a premium from our investments that we have made, and which would come in the form of exits at a premium, which would come in the form of a sort of a stake in like a royalty, or an equity position which we can maintain, even if it's very small in a very large project, and which would give us a sort of a return going forward. So with the view on what is our understanding as a company and our strategy of revenues, I think that we believe now at this point that amongst all the projects that we are currently developing, the Northern Zone project, which is a small project but has really been, I guess, it's the sort of the strategic success that we've had so far. We've managed to form a farm-in agreement, and we are looking to form a JV, and the sooner we form that JV, we can actually then look forward to becoming a 20% shareholder of a potential gold resource, which I believe is not too distant in the future. So it could very well be a period of, I don't know, a year or close to that maybe, that could essentially tell us where we stand with respect to the JORC resource. And the drilling that we anticipate in the in the near future this year, and we put some announcements out as well related to that. So if all those go forward as planned, I think that project can see success, which would potentially give shareholders and investors the return that they're looking for, and which is what you call revenue. So that return would come in the form of being part of a gold mine, which has been established as a mine. And of course, the development carries on, but then we can we just stand to gain from the fact that we are sitting on a resource which is now priced at a premium. So that would deliver the return that we are anticipating. So that is one of the projects that I feel is something that we can look at to happen sooner than later. Having said that, the green hydrogen project has also advanced very, very swiftly. And we've been making announcements, we've been updating the market, and there's a lot of work that has gone on, which is perhaps not being accounted for in the true sense, because I guess the final goalpost perhaps is not apparent. And then we also own just 30%, but we own 30% of a very, very large project potentially, which would potentially be very, very large. So even at that small value, and in fact, even if we become 5%, even then we still are, our stake is still very, very big. So even in that project, I believe that we are moving very swiftly, and there would be, the chances of returning value in that project are also looking bright, and perhaps not too far off as well.
Naheed Memon, CEO at Oracle Power, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.